All right, from the Fairfax City, we are very grateful that Aldi Viola accepted our invitation to show. Al, welcome to my humble podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. Great to be here.
No problem. For people that don't know you, were you born like in a musical family? I mean, how were you began at the beginning? Start, either playing music or getting a hold of a guitar or listen record at home, that kind of stuff.
No, there was music around the house, a lot of different records and stuff that my father collected. And then I have a sister who's 7 years older,
Yeah.
and she would bring like all of the music in 45s, singles, and she would eventually albums. And I was, I guess, about 9 years old when she came in with the Meet the Beatles, and
Yeah.
it was really an explosion of music. The '60s were the most revolutionary
Yeah.
in terms of change and expression and peace and love and all of that stuff. It was just the greatest change that we've ever seen in music from the '50s.
My understanding that the Beatles make a big impact of you. I think your life was before the
Yeah,
Beatles and after that, right? So
the Beatles really changed the world. I mean,
sure.
they certainly made life a lot better with their music, and a lot of us got more motivated to play music because of them. There's no doubt about it. That, a lot of guitar players started playing guitar because of the Beatles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's even to this day there. Paul is out there playing.
Oh man, I believe.
84. I know. I almost got to see him the other night. We had tickets
Yeah.
for it was like a spontaneous show in a little club.
Yeah.
In New York City, and then
Good for you, man.
I actually got tickets, and I didn't realize that we were going to get them, and I only found out after the show that they were there for us. I go, oh my god!
Wow.
Anyway,
Wow. Yeah. And Ringo's still going, by the way. So believe it or not, he's coming to town to Virginia as well very soon. So I'm going to be seeing him. You end up attending Berklee College of Music in Boston. And eventually, well, you didn't finish because something great happened to you in your life that you end up meeting Chick Corea. Feel free to elaborate on that. Right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, I had left Berklee the first time to play with Barry Miles' quartet, and then I was with them for about a year. Then I went back to Berklee, and I was there for a semester, and I got a call from Chick, who heard a tape of me playing with the Barry Miles Quartet, and he wanted me to join the band. So that's how that happened.
So did you tell your parents that? Hey, by the way, I'm going to be dropping to school. I'm going to be playing with this guy in New York.
Yeah. I went home, and my mother said, well, what are you doing home from school? I said, Mom, I'm playing with Chick Corea, and we're playing Carnegie Hall on Tuesday night. But that was my first show.
Wow, good for you, and the rest is history. Of course,
Yeah, it was quite amazing. That was at 19 years old. So
good for you, man. Good for you.
We're talking 50 years ago now.
Yeah, I know. What memories do you have from Elegant Gypsy, if you can recall anything in particular?
Well, it was really great. I mean, it was. I had a lot more confidence on my second record, whereas the first record, I was really getting my feet wet. I was a new composer. I was new to it on Land of the Midnight Sun, and then on the second album, I had a lot more confidence. I realized I had a sound and I had a style. I was getting what I'm about, and that one turned out to be my biggest selling record, and the most popular record, I think.
Yeah. Even
I had
up to
good
now?
memories of it because I had a great band that I assembled, with Leon Hammer and Steve Gadd, Anthony Jackson, and Mingo Lewis, and Barry was on a couple of pieces. So the musicians I chose really elevated what I had written, they really brought a lot to the table.
Gotcha. My understanding is that Santana also play a big influence of you as well, right? You growing up, I think
Yeah, I mean, I love Latin music. I used to hang out in Latin clubs by myself just to absorb the rhythm and the whole vibe of it. And somehow I wanted to translate that into my guitar playing. So the percussion side of my my creativity really works its way, because I'm a percussionist at heart, and I think a lot of the rhythms that I play in the guitar are very unguitaristic, and in certain ways, and that's a good thing. I mean, I think I relate very well to the guys that play those kind of instruments, But also, I play on my records. I play most of the percussion myself.
I got you. Yep. It's something that not many people know about it, but between 77 and 78, I think you end up playing with Stumo Yamashita in a supergroup called Go. But you play in three records. What memories do you have for that period? And
it was phenomenal. It was great music. It wasn't a long period, but right after Return to River broke up in '76, and I had finished Elegant Gypsy. I just finished the record, and in between the finishing of the record and the tour that was going to support the record, I had this invitation to be part of that studio recording with Stevie Winwood, Stanley, and Mike Shreve, the drummer from Santana, Klaus Schultz from Tangerine Dream, I think the guy from Roxy Music, Phil Manzanera, and it was just like a very surreal dream come true, because it was only a few years before all of that I was in a garage band playing traffic music of Stevie Winwood, Dear Mr. Fantasy. So when I walked into the studio in London, he was in the main room singing, and I walked into the control room, and there he is singing, and it was like, really, like, wow, this is amazing. So we did the record, and then I remember we did a Royal Albert Hall show complete with ballet and laser lights, and it was like a big production.
Yeah.
I think a lot of London's elite musicians came out for that show. And then I remember we did the Palais de Sport in Paris, which is where we made the Go Live, Go To. Is it Go To? I forget. But it was a live record in Paris. And then there was the third record did not have Stevie on it, and that was recorded actually very close to my house here in New Jersey.
Oh, by the way, you mentioned Phil Manzanera. He sent his regard. I talked to him yesterday. I mean, I'm in touch with a lot of music. Actually, he's going to be playing. He's doing a book tour. He's going to be in New York, March 10th, and then he's coming here to Washington, D.C. the 25th. If you're interested, I can give you a ticket to you or your wife, Stephanie. Yeah. Because I'm helping him out with his tour here in the U.S. And then he's coming back with all the guys from the Roxy Music in October.
Okay.
So that's going to be fun. Yeah, I will make myself an to get you a ticket. In 1980, you end up recording, obviously, the best-selling Friday Night in San Francisco with John McLaughlin and then Paco de Lucia.
Yeah.
You end up selling 7 million records. Whoa, what an accomplishment, man.
Yeah. That was a huge record. And it's even bigger in Europe, maybe South America, but definitely Europe it was a big success, even more than anywhere else in the world. But the combination of the players definitely had people, made people come out for the shows. I mean, we played that first tour for 2 months. We played every night, and then we recorded. Well, we actually recorded almost the whole tour, but it was the last two shows in San Francisco that we felt was the best of all the recordings, and our chops were amazing. At that time, because all we did was, all day practice, for that show that night.
I got you. I think, if you don't mind asking, I think you have mentioned in the past that you did have a lot of friction with John, because they were, I don't know, he was very competitive and he want to be on.
Yeah, well, I was the younger guy, but I'm 12 years younger than John, and John was the guy.
Sure.
Before me, I was just, I was like a big fan of him. So, John had he was always very competitive, and here was this young kid, kicking him in the ass a little bit, and there was always a little bit of a little friction. However, the first tour was very, very much fun, and there was a lot of camaraderie, and we played cards for big stakes, for a lot of money, and we laughed a lot. It was very the interplay was more on the friendly side, and then as time went on, and I started to get more, let's say, well known and popular, and bigger record sales.
Yeah.
I felt obviously that the respect should be equal and mutual. Because John wanted to dominate. And some of it I can understand, but then as time went on, it was only right that you get treated equal, because it was an equal billing anyway.
Sure. And
I had gained a lot more popularity, and my record sales were far greater than his. So there was a little bit of jealousy.
Yeah. What was Paco de Lucia like?
Paco was like in between us. He was as far as he was the middleman. He was the one that was the most different, because he came from a flamenco background.
Right.
That made him. He made himself the best player in the whole idiom of music, flamenco. And John and I were not flamenco players, but we had our own thing. John had a little bit more of an Indian approach, not Latin at all. Where I come from, a Latin kind of thing, but not necessarily flamenco Latin, but more Latin rhythms of different parts of the world. Like I totally relate to Brazil and Cuba and all of that kind of stuff. So when you have the sensibility to play against the clave or the upbeat, with the time, and you could play accents against the time, that's where Paco and I got along really well musically, because we could play together and support. The way we supported John when he soloed was unbelievable, because he was on one side, I was on the other, John was in the middle. So you had perfect kind of syncopation that was amazing. So we got along really well, because we understood that whole psychological kind of playing of upbeat rhythms.
The concert was very structured, in a sense that you begin with one piece, then it will followed by Paco in the middle, and then John, and then the next one, John will start, and so forth, or was it semi-structured in the sense that you knew what you were playing, but there was freedom for John and on Paco to either stay longer in the track and so forth.
Right.
Yeah, got it. Good for you, man. That's a great album, of course. In '82, you end up releasing your first live album, the Tour de Force, which is an amazing album, man. One of my favorites. What memory do you have for that? A long time ago, but
yeah, well, it was. I assembled all of those A-list players that played on my earlier records, the ones that were working like 3 sessions a day. They were Steve Gadd in particular, Anthony Jackson. Jan Hammer. I mean, I had a record budget to do a live album that, could pay for all of that. And so we did a 2 to 3 week tour, and it was, very, very successful because it was an all-star band. And we recorded the last night in Philadelphia at the Tower Theater. And I knew that was the end, at least for that period of time. That was the end of me doing the hard electric thing, fusion thing. So if you know how my records went chronologically, after the live record with them followed records that were completely different, almost completely different, like Soaring Through a Dream and Cielo e Terra and Scenario, and then everything else after, Pursuit of Radical Rhapsody, you have Infinite Desire, and all these records that I feel as though as I grew as a composer, the music was changing, and in some ways deeper. And then I have the World Symphonia records where you have that. I had a tremendous influence from my association and friendship with Astor Piazzolla. So, the music became more acoustic because I had really tired of the electric thing at that point. And, I made a lot of records that weren't maybe as popular as Elegant Gypsy, but musically, aesthetically deeper.
I got you. Yeah, the album that you did, Al Di Meola play Piazzolla is very good. I mean, I gotta ask you that from Chile, right? So Argentina is right next to me. Piazzolla was on another level altogether early in his life, and had a lot of influence in a lot of people because it was a different type of tango, right? Like the old tango. And is it difficult to take a piece from Piazzolla and make it work with guitar, make it a different arrangement of the music? And
well, guitar was never a featured instrument within tango. And neither was any kind of this kind of Latin syncopation. Tango is a form of Latin music without there being Latin rhythms. So what I did was I syncopated a lot of the, whatever I did at Piazzolla, I syncopated, and it kind of was like you could say it was like Buenos Aires meets Havana, Cuba, in terms of the influence of rhythm and how I heard that music, which a lot of the tango of Piazzolla, it was without minimizing its impact. It was very emotional, but very melancholy. Melancholic. It was all. A lot of it was without rhythm, and it was very rubato. So it was very deep and dark. And he admitted it. He said he almost like made an excuse for it. But what I did with his blessing, he wanted me to do something new with it, but you always want to keep those very deep and beautiful melodies intact. But what I did was I read music. So as I read the way it's written, whether it's 16th notes or whatever, I'm syncopating as I'm reading. So it makes it more conducive to add percussion, and I put the guitar, of course, in the forefront. And I think what I did with it was unique because you have so many classical people, great musicians doing Piazzolla exactly as it was written. They don't improvise around it, classical people, at all. So we were not only changing the rhythmic structure of the composition, but we were improvising within it, and more in a jazz way.
I got you. In the past, you mentioned that you were stepping away a little bit from electric guitar in the sense that was due to your hearing damage over the years.
Yeah.
But you keep on playing that electric guitar. When you're touring here, it's going to be more electric or classical guitar, if you will, play.
I think it's electric. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I went back to it to kind of revitalize, to get people that were sitting on the sidelines who loved the early music and weren't getting it because I was kind of almost force feeding them the new direction.
Yeah.
And you definitely get a different crowd, different enthusiasm with electric music than you do with acoustic. Acoustic's more serious, so you get a more of a classical type audience, or you get your same audience, and they're just more quiet because the music is demanding to listen to. But the electric just kind of is exciting,
Sure.
So I have, I got to protect my ears just like anyone else.
Yeah.
And I just put like big pieces of wax in my ears so that I'm not affected directly with the sound. And plus the fact I always aim my speakers backwards. So I'm hearing the sound around me, not at me.
At you. Gotcha. No,
so it's still a little risky. It's still, but I'm doing this for the audience.
Yeah, man, you're still, playing amazing both ways. Classical,
right.
We're playing, and the album 24 is excellent as well. One of the newer albums. You end up playing a lot of instruments, right? Bass, guitar, keyboard, percussion, and you end up writing orchestral arrangements. How you manage to do all that stuff, man? Well, you're a musician.
Well, it was over a long period of time. So I started right after COVID became the central theme on television, where the whole world was affected in early 2000, right? 2020, I mean. I think starting in March, I decided, because we couldn't tour and everything was shut down, and it was a very strange period of our lives. Very, very bizarre, And I felt like, wow, this is what it feels like to be retired, because I'm home all the time. So instead of watching TV, getting the daily news about what's going on, I called my record company. I said, look, I got to utilize this time. I have to do something to keep from going crazy. And I offered to do a solo with no overdub acoustic nylon record.
Yep.
So I said, okay. So I had a tiny little budget, and it's just what happened was that the amount of time off was much longer than I thought. And I was in a writing mode that every day I was writing. It was just pouring out. So the urge to, produce more of the production on each piece was growing, and then I couldn't resist adding this percussion and adding this keyboard and adding, not on the whole record, but a good part of it. I just decided to make it more of a solo record.
When you do this part, you save it, you add this, you add that. When do you know it's ready, though? Because I don't know, it's difficult, right? It's always, you can say, man, I can do another 3 weeks to fix that part, and then maybe you will increase the quality just a little bit, right? I don't know, but maybe you are at your level, you are a perfectionist, and you need to be at the level, otherwise I'm not releasing the thing or that.
Well, they every time I talk to the record company, I was expecting them to say, or I was expecting them to call me and say, when are we going to have the record? Because we want to put it out. But every time I talk to them, they're like, we're not in any hurry to get the record. So
I got it.
we're we'll take the record whenever you're happy with it. So then, like another 6 months will go by, and I'll just check with them again. They said, no, we're not in any hurry. So that's why I took 4 years. It was like a whole 4 years of coming back to it after, because the gigs started to happen. So I would return and then, do a little bit more with the record or add another piece or whatever. And from 2020 to 2024, that's why it's called 24.
Yeah.
I finished in 24. And you get to a point where anything that you add is not going to add that much more. It doesn't really matter. It sounds good the way it is. So you have to get there, and your instinct has to tell you this is good enough.
I got you. The album Across the Universe is another excellent album. It's people like the Beatles in general and the Beatles legacy, right?
Right.
It's a great album.
That's my second one. The first one I did at Abbey Road.
Yeah.
You know that one?
Which one?
I did two. One was done at Abbey Road called All Your Life.
No, I don't know that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's really good.
Both were done on Abbey Road? Oh, okay.
No. The second one that was called what the hell is it called? Oh my God.
I don't remember.
I know it. I know it. Wait. I'm just Across the Universe was done in my studio.
I got it. Yeah.
And I played all the instruments. But now on the first one that was done about 14 years ago,
I got it.
In London at Abbey Road, it was just acoustic guitar with hardly any overdubs, just more of a solo with a little bit of percussion on the top of a guitar. That one is really special, actually. It was very unique.
Yeah. Are you bringing that as part of the merchandise when you're touring right now? I don't have the one, so I get it for you. I have bought everything you bring all the time, so I need a bigger house.
Yeah, we definitely bring that one, but you should listen to it on go to iTunes and you can hear it, or you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
Or you could hear it, I don't know, many ways.
Yeah, I got it.
It's called All Your Life. All Your Life.
Yeah. I want to write myself one of them right now. And so you're coming here to town. You're going to start a tour in Beverly, Massachusetts. Then you go to Connecticut, New Jersey, and then Alexandria, Virginia, and Annapolis, Maryland. So I'm going to be seeing you in these shows. And what are you working nowadays? Are you always writing? Always keeping the stuff?
I've been off since I just did a January tour, almost 3 weeks with the electric band.
Yeah.
And since then, I haven't done really ever, just relax really. And then we start up again the end of March.
Right. Yeah. So do you practice on a daily basis or?
I haven't been, and I really need to start again because I used to play just nonstop all the time.
Yeah.
And now my time is divided between family and different things like that. It's just I'm gonna get back into it now.
I got you. The last question. So if you like Latin music, you must love Latin food, right? Or do you?
I don't know enough about Latin food. I'm more Italian all the way. You know what I mean?
Well, if you happen to like it, my wife from Colombia, so she's one of the best cook in the country, according to me. But if you have time when you play the 4 and the 6, I will be seeing you the 4 anyway. You're free to come here to get a bite to eat or have dinner here or whatever. More than welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, because it's food that you will not eat anywhere else. So I'm telling you, of course I'm biased, but my to do is I will get you ticket to see Phil, you and your wife to see Manzanera March the 10th in New York.
Okay.
I will get in touch with your wife and send you guys your way. It was very nice talking to you. Say hello to your wife. Thank you for everything.
You too, Claudio.
But I appreciate your time, man.
Okay, Claudio. Take care.
Thank you.
See you down there. Bye-bye.
You bet.